to the left of the pier. Let's say I want to figure out, okay, is there any time of year when the moon is going to be setting somewhere to the left of the pier or coming down on top of that building or whatever? So essentially the same process. I've already got my pins set up. But just for the sake of argument, let's say I'm going to stand a little further down the beach, set my pin over there. Let's say I want the moon to come down over top of the building. So I'll move my, oops, the black pin, pardon me, red pin back there. I want to move my black pin just to the top of the building. And so now I want to figure out, okay, sometime in the future, will there be a date when the moon will come down over top of that building and I'll be able to see it? So go back to this line button down here. And this time I'm going to select the moon at azimuth and elevation. In other words, I want the moon at the angle towards the end of the pier, and I want to be able to choose what elevation I want the moon to be at. So choose that option. And I've already got it set. Let's say I'm only interested in the next year, so I'm going to change my parameters. So my date range now is from today until a year from now. And the elevation, I don't want the moon right at the horizon. I want it somewhere up above that building on the end of the pier. So I don't know, say I'll set it at 600 feet or so. Okay, so if I click on that find button up in the corner there, again, it's going to give me possibilities for when the moon might be appearing above the end of the pier. What I'm most interested in is a full moon or close to a full moon. And I don't want the sky to be pitch black. Ideally, I want it, just before sunrise, so there's some light in the sky, but you can still, pardon me, clearly see the moon. It kind of looks like Monday, November 2nd. It's going to give me the right combination. If I click on that, and I've got to, oh, the moon is showing. Oops. Okay. It's very light, but you can see the little dotted line there showing where the moon will be. I'll move that timeline around. So November 2nd, you should be able to get a shot of the moon, nearly full moon, up above the building at the end of the pier. So for the sun and the moon, the mechanism is pretty much the same. You figure out where you want the sun to be relative to you, and then choose either the sun at azimuth and elevation, or the moon at azimuth and elevation, and that will generate a list of dates when those conditions will be met. And then just very quickly, I want to show instead the Milky Way. So let's say found some pictures of Haystack Rock at Cannon Beach on the Oregon coast with the Milky Way behind it, and thinking, oh, that'd be kind of nice to get a nice shot of the Milky Way coming up off of Haystack Rock. So again, using the planning pill, go to load, Cannon Beach. And you can see Haystack Rock there. I'm going to move the pill down to the beach. And you can see the little dotted line or curve there actually represents the where the Milky Way is at any given time. So if I move the time slider, you can see that Milky Way is moving around. It's an arch in the sky. This particular time of year, it's a fairly vertical arch. At other times of year, it appears closer to the horizon. And other times of year, of course, it doesn't appear at all. So I want to know when the Milky Way is going to appear as kind of a vertical line coming up from Haystack Rock. And I want, ideally, the time to shoot Milky Way is when you've got a dark sky, so a new moon or close to a new moon. So if I press on the moon, first of all, the gray, light gray and dark gray lines on the map indicate where the Milky Way, the core of the Milky Way will be visible. And as you can see, it will be visible. It's still set for November. I'm going to change that to today's date. Okay, so I want to figure out when in the future the Milky Way is going to appear kind of as a vertical line above the rock. So I'm just going to press on the moon button up here, and that'll take me to the next. Sorry, I was in the wrong setting at the top. I want to go to the next new moon, so I click on that button there. And September 17th is the next new moon when the galactic center will be visible. And sorry, you can see the gray line and black line kind of on each side of Haystack Rock there. So that indicates that some point during the night, the Milky Way should be kind of vertical. You know it's vertical because the dotted line representing the path of or the line of the Milky Way is very high in the sky. You can confirm that up here. The elevation is at 83 degrees, so it's pretty much vertical. And on this date, it's 10 o'clock at night. You're likely going to see the Milky Way above Haystack Rock. Go back to the previous slide or menu at the top. Tells you that the Milky Way will be, the galactic center will be visible from 9:03 till almost 11 o'clock that night. So that's one option. In the middle of September, you could go to Cannon Beach and get a shot of the Milky Way coming up out of the center of the rock. So that's basically, I mean, there's lots more, but actually I've already taken up a lot of time on this. It's a useful app. And like I say, it's well worth the $10 it costs you.
That's perfect. I'm going to the Oregon coast on the 18th of September.
Yeah, right.
I am.
That's perfect. You know what you should do.
Yeah, I'm playing golf at Bandon Dunes on the 18th.
Okay.
Late night.
Just one that raised one last thing I wanted to quickly show you is that you can also save these plans. Down at the bottom it says load, and click on plan. It's not load, sorry. Click on save. Save as, I want to save it as a plan. Click on new plan, you can give it a name, and it'll save it on a list of plans that you can bring up in the future. You can add it to your calendar. And actually, if you add it to your calendar, if you go to your calendar, and it'll have a link right in your calendar. If you click on that, it'll open Photopills and it'll show you the plan. All right.
That's great.
Yeah,
That was really good.
I've got a question for you, Neil.
Yep.
How does this interface with atmospheric conditions, weather changes out in the future?
Okay, that's a variable that Photopills doesn't help you with. Obviously, if the sky is cloudy, you're not going to see the Milky Way or the moon, or perhaps your sunrise, sunset isn't going to be any good. There are apps that will help with that. One I use is called Clear Sky, and it will, for the next few days, it will show you the amount of cloud cover at any time of day. And it does take into it's set for local, it takes into consideration weather conditions and so on. So the primary use of that app is to figure out when the sky is going to be clear, but sometimes you want cloud in the sky, and you can kind of figure out whether the sky is going to be completely cloudy or partially cloudy or what.
Okay, thanks.
So that's called, I think it's called Clear. Where is it? Clear Outside is the name of the app.
Clear outside.
And I think seems to me it's a free app, or it's a very inexpensive app.
Okay.
Reset it. You know, how do you reset it?
Reset. What?
You know, if I want to get rid of Santa Monica Pier now and start over, I go to Planner and it just keeps coming up to Santa Monica Pier.
Oh,
How do you
and,
delete that?
just go into.
Gail, I think you have to go take the picture and then it'll clear.
I know. You're committed now.
If you go into load,
Load. Okay.
then you can load a new address, or you can just navigate anywhere you want on the map.
Okay. So just it'll overwrite if I just put a new address in there. Okay.
Yep.
That was really good. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Neil. That was great.
Yeah.
Perfect, Neil.
Sorry, it's a little longer than I thought, but let's say there's a ton of stuff that you'll find.
Yeah.
So,
That's
Yeah.